Hey, it's Eric with Jazz Wealth Managers. Let's talk about a special FinTips video today because this is one that I'm pulling one of the comments and I'm going to be making a video on that comment. Huge shout out to YG Bodybuilder. So I don't know exactly who you are, and this plan that I'm going to show you in Nest Egg has nothing to do with that specific person. I'm just making total assumptions, but the idea with the question was talking about a pension, and if they had a pension, what they should be investing in to make their plan have a higher probability of success so that they could retire and have more money in their pocket. So with that said, I was able to build that. I'm going to show you that. And to give you an idea, I built this as more of my history. So I actually worked as a firefighter for 8 years prior to getting into finance. I studied the state of Florida pension system before I left, and I actually read through, they had this, this just shows you how geeky I can get sometimes. They had this fat manual that was all for human resources with every county so that they could teach on the state retirement system. I read this whole entire manual and I picked through every single part of it to figure out exactly what was going on. So I like talking about pensions. I'm very familiar with pensions because I used to work in an organization that had a pension. So with that said, let's jump over here. This could apply to you, it could not, but in the end, a lot of people do have pensions, so let's go ahead and take a look at what I'm working with here. So I named this person right here YG Bodybuilder. So if maybe you leave me a comment on something, I'm able to see it, I might make a video out of it and give you a shout out too. So YG Bodybuilder, what I wanted to do here was show that they're young. They're a young person, they have a long ways to go to build their dough and their nest egg here. And so at 27 years old, remember, I just kind of thought through it as they were a firefighter. They've got $4,000 living expenses. So here's where I'm going to really work towards, though, is seeing what they should be saving in. So a lot of times a firefighter or a government employee has a 457. They also could have a 457 Roth, or maybe you work for the federal government. You've got a TSP account. We see a lot of those also. So a lot of different options there. As far as income, $75,000. This person would get YG would get a 3% annual increase on that. Now they'll have Social Security that'll start at 67, and then their pension income. Now it's showing it's $182,000, and you're probably like, well, hold on, that's a lot of money. The reason I've got it so high is because if you think about pensions, oftentimes the way they work, they base it on a number of years that you worked and your salary. There's a lot of different things that come into that calculation. Well, if this person, YG here, is getting a 3% cost of living raise every single year, by the time they retire, that $75,000 is going to be roughly $182,000. So if they were to retire there with that money, then that's what they would get. That's without them promoting or doing anything else or advancing in whatever position, company you work for. So that's how I got that number. As far as their goals, retire at 57. So they're going to retire early. A lot of people with pensions end up getting that opportunity. Retirement expense, $5,000, so a little more than they're spending today. They're going to have health care there. They're going to have the national average, and then they're going to be giving away $500 a year for charitable contributions. They're just starting. They don't have anything saved. They're renting their house. So everything there is just kind of baseline. So let's go ahead and take a look at what is going to happen with YG's scenario. So right here, what I am looking at is their current plan. Well, if they're putting $6,000 away and they're not investing it, it's all in cash, then they have a 0% probability of success. So what I've done is I went down here and I've changed that. So we're looking at a growth scenario. So with a growth scenario, it's a good opportunity for them to have an 80-20 allocation, 90-20 allocation where they're investing their money so that they can go ahead and get a good return long-term on that. So if they're putting $6,000 into a 457 that's deferred, that makes a lot of sense. You can save some taxes today. And if they're single, they're making $75,000 a year, man, that's all right. They're making a pretty good living. 85% probability of success, $560,000. So over here, what I'm going to show you is something pretty cool. I got a little geeky on this for sure. So their tax payment's $16,885 this year if they're deferring $6,000. So remember, anytime you're putting money into an account that defers it, that reduces your tax liability. Now, if we come back over here, though, what I want to do is I'm going to go with a half and half. Now, the half and half I didn't really get too crazy with because I just wanted to give you an idea with it. Now we have an 86% probability of success, $491,000 remaining. When I call it half and half, Not talking about the stuff that my wife puts in her coffee every single morning. I am talking about the $3,000 into a Roth, $3,000 into the 457 deferred, so you total that $6,000 there. Now, so if we're looking here, 86, the other one we had was, what do we have there, 85. So we're actually projected to have a little bit more money in the end with the 560 on the deferred. But what if we did all Roth? That's what I really want to show you. That's where I went geeky. Now remember, I said we had $16,885 in taxes if you were to be doing the original plan. Now, if the Roth happens, real quick before I show you anything else with it, look at how much more you're going to have to pay in tax. Let me get to the proper plan here. So you're going to be paying $18,616 in tax. So anytime you're doing Roth, it's after-tax money, so you have to always think through that, because this is actually, I'm going to build a plan that's taking into consideration that you're going to have to pay more in tax. So if I'm looking at that specific scenario, saying that you're going to be paying more in tax, roughly $1,700, what I want to show you here is I drop this down. It's actually, what, $1,731 to be exact. So that's how much more tax you're going to pay. So instead, I reduce their Roth contribution by that amount. So now YG is only putting in $4,269. Now, if you remember, the original plan had an 85% probability of success. This one has 100% probability of success. The original plan had $560,000 and some change remaining at the end of the plan. This one's projecting YG to have $570,000. In the end, it looks like the Roth's going to win, especially with the fact that you have a pension. Even if you reduce your contributions a bit, putting it into the Roth, knowing that you're not going to have that offset with the savings on taxes, still looks like the Roth's a great option for you, YG. Thanks for watching. If you want to watch more FinTips videos, click here. Be sure to like and subscribe also.